Hi, Happy New Year. So today I thought I would just go through what I am planning on sowing and growing this year. So I have decided that this year I will be flower farming, and I'm trying to plan like some successions of flowers and planting out times, seeding times. So I'm busy with that, but I just figured I'd go through what I have planned to grow this year for sale. So it's going to be a mix of perennials and annuals. Also, just a few biennials, not a lot of them. And I have some beds that are a bit larger. Those are going to be for annuals and biennials. And then I have like smaller beds, the ones that I've been using this year as like my trial year for the flowers, because I haven't been growing flowers before. It's mostly been vegetables before. So the smaller beds will be mainly for perennials. So I have quite a large list of things that I'm growing this year, just because I want to trial a lot of things and then see like what is selling, what grows well in my climate, and then in coming years I'll be able to like focus on the things that actually sell for me and grow well here. So the first thing to go out will be perennials and cool flowers and the biennials. And then when I've passed my first frost date, I will be planting out the warm season tender annuals. So first on the list is yarrow. I really love yarrow a lot. I only had a yellow variety planted out this year and it didn't really produce. I had a lot of pest this year, which is also one of the reasons why I'm trying to diversify as much as possible. So instead of just growing like large amounts of this or that, I'm figuring I'll grow like smaller amounts of everything, which is not really a good business plan, of course. But even if I'm planning on selling this year, it's still going to be like a continuation of the trial year. So by diversifying, I feel like since I had a lot of pests last year and I couldn't really get on top of it, I want to try to see like, okay, this crop has this pest at this time, and just exploring really what works. So yarrow, I got like one or two stems off of that, and I have the yellow one, and I love that one, but I'm gonna focus a bit more on like pastel colors this year. So I have like the Colorado mix and summer berries mix and things like that. That's gonna be the focus this year. And then I have feverfew. I think I harvested like 2 stems of feverfew last year. They were all really badly affected by tarnished plant bugs. So tarnished plant bug was my main problem with pests this year, and I'm trying to like attract as much wildlife as possible. I saw that I don't remember what it's called, but it's like this larger black bug that was after the tarnished plant bugs moved in. Just like a while after, they moved in as well, and they were really taking care of the tarnished plant bugs. So I'm trying to bring in as much wildlife as possible. The best case would be like having birds and different types of insects and beneficials as well that will help me with this problem. But I'm also thinking like for certain things like cabbage moth on stock, I'm probably gonna net that crop. And I have a little bit of like planning for protecting the crops against pests as well, but I'm not going to be like spraying any chemicals or anything like that. If I'm spraying anything, I have like this garlic and chili. I don't know what it's called, but I boiled chili and garlic together and I spray them with that, and that repels some of the pests and things like that. Just natural things if I'm using anything at all. So yarrow, and then feverfew, I have rudbeckia, stock, poppies, carnations, lisianthus, status, phlox. And I've read so much about phlox that it's so hard to germinate that I actually have some stock right now. Phlox right now that I germinated, and I didn't have a problem at all with it. I actually followed the advice of pre-sprouting it on like moist paper towel in the fridge, and all of them germinated. So maybe I'll do like another trial of just sowing them as usual on soil blocks and see if that works, because I didn't have an issue at all with that. I have snapdragons, calendula, levitera, dianthus, which is a biennial, and last year I sowed them, I think in like March, April, and they just started blooming in October or November, or they didn't actually bloom, but they like shot like, you know, it went to bloom, but I never actually got any blooms off of it. So I'm thinking that this is the biennial variety, that I have different varieties. They were all biennials that I grew last year. So I'm gonna grow the biennials because I like the selection of those better, but I'm gonna try to start them earlier, and hopefully I get blooms during the season. I bought a few of the annual varieties, but from the seed sources that I have, the annual varieties are really expensive, and it's not like the nicest varieties. But I found another seed seller that's in the Netherlands that I can order maybe for next year, and they have a lot of the cut flower varieties that I have a hard time getting a hold of here. So maybe I'll do like a larger order in the summer or in the autumn for next year and next season. So dianthus, and then I have campanula, and I already have the biennial varieties planted out. So I think I'm going to just start the annual variety in early spring, so the champion series. Maybe I'll do the biennials as well, just to see what it does. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that just to see if I get blooms off of it or not. Then I have Orlea, I have Strawflower, Delphinium, and Larkspur. I really had a hard time knowing what the difference was between those two, but if it's a perennial, it's Delphinium. If it's annual, it's Larkspur, but Larkspur can be like Delphinium conciliata, and then Larkspur can also be like conciliata blah blah blah. Like the Latin names confused me, but I think I know. And I'm seeding both of those. And then I have digitalis, what is that called? Foxglove. And I have agrostemma, sweet rocket. What is this one in English? It is Bupleurum. Yeah, Bupleurum, aster, sunflowers. And then these are like my hardy and half semi-hardy plants. And then I have the heat-loving plants, or non-hardy, or whatever. It's marigolds, ageratum, cosmos, celosia, amaranth, and zinnias. And then I have just a few like suggestions, or I have a list of cover crops. So for spring, I have peas, oats, mustards, and hairy vetch. For summer, it's buckwheat and phacelia. For fall, I could do peas, oats, mustards, and hairy vetch again. Or I could do rye and crimson clover for overwintering. And I think the hairy vetch will overwinter as well, depending on when you So if you sow it earlier, it's going to winter kill, and if you sow it a bit later, it can winter over as well. And then I have a really long list of perennials. So there's different like herbs I'm growing. I think I have them on my computer. I think it's going to be easier if I go through them here. So I have the perennial delphinium. I have echinacea, lupins, echinops. I have sea holly. I have Malva, the Malva sylvestris. It looks like Liberaria. I think they're related in some way because they look really similar, both really beautiful. But the Malva sylvestris is perennial, so that's great. Anise hyssop, tansy, chamomile, ox-eye daisies. And then the herbs are oregano, lemon balm, mountain mint, sage, rosemary, and different kinds of mint, so peppermint and apple mint. And these are all of the perennials that I'm planning on growing for cutting. And yeah, I think that's basically it. I have a few other varieties that aren't on the list that I'm not planning on growing. A lot of like Tweedia. I have just Tweedia seed is so expensive here. I bought like 20 seeds for I don't know how much. Like it's not, I can't grow that from that seed for cutting. But on the website that I found there, they sell like wholesale amounts of seeds, so I could buy Tweedia from there for next season. But I'm just thinking I'll use the Tweedia that I have this season to see if I even like it before I order like 1,000 seeds of Tweedia. So I have the blue Tweedia. I have like Dusty Miller. I'm not sure if Dusty Miller is going to work for cutting, like if I can get it to grow tall enough for cutting. I have ornamental kale. I'm only growing that for the fall. I have geranium cuttings. I'm looking at them right now. And so those will be for summer. Like I have a lot of different stuff that I'm trialing this year. And I'm also trying to sow flowers in like summer to get a fall harvest. Sow a little bit later in the fall, in the summer and the fall for overwintering. Like I'm trialing a lot of things. So it's hard to like go through all of the things just in one video. So but if you join me, I'm gonna take you with me every step of the way. I'm planning on starting my first seeds of the year soon. In like 5 or 10 days I'm gonna start with, I think my herbs will be the first to go. And I also have some dahlia cuttings that I've started, and they've started to sprout, so I'll be taking cuttings of those soon and showing you that. I'm trialing different ways of starting my dahlias, so on the heat mat, off the heat mat, like in baggies or in containers. And like I'm trialing also the different amounts of water, because I'm noticing that my tubers are on the drier side. So a lot of the videos that I've watched have been like no water, but I've noticed that if I use like moist soil, like I don't water the bagged soil, I just use, there's always like a little bit of moisture in it, so I just use that. But I like lock, if I have it in a Ziploc, I lock it so the moisture is retained within, and have it on the heat mat. That has been the best way. But I'll show you everything that I'm doing with that as well. Yeah, so I don't want to go on for too long. I just wanted to share a little bit of what I'm doing, and then my next video probably will be when I start the first seeds of this year. So yeah, I'm really excited for this year. I feel like it's going to be a really good year. Like I'm not really nervous about the growing part. I'm like, I'm going to have flowers. I'm really nervous about the selling. Like I have different channels maybe I'll do a video about that as well, like my plan for selling flowers, because I mean, I'm sure anyone could grow flowers, but you have to sell them to be a flower farmer, right? So yeah, I'm gonna update soon about just seed starting, and maybe I'll do a video as well about my plan for selling. So I hope to see you next time, and thank you for joining me today.